Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be, and welcome to a very special interview of the Final Cut podcast. And today, I have a special guest. She is a actress and a singer. The amount of stuff she's been in is astounding. She's been in Stargate SG-1, Outer Limits, Supernatural, 100, Altered Carbon, Chesapeake Shores, iZombie, the list goes on. She was even Stargirl in Smallville, so I have a superhero on my show today. So, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce to you Britt Irvin.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yep, not too bad. So, your resume is very long and impressive. Is there anything you haven't been in?
Oh man, yeah. I mean, it looks long. Also, because I started really young. I started when I was 11, almost 11 years old. And I'm 35 now, so it looks extra long just because I started at such a young age. But I remember when I started, Vancouver film industry was kind of really amping up around that time, and X-Files was shooting here. And I remember wanting to be on it so badly. And it was like just kind of like ending around the time that I started acting. And I never ended up getting on it, but I auditioned a couple of times. They were some of my very first auditions I ever did. And I still wish I'd been on it.
Yeah, there's always shows that we wish we had been on, but we never got a chance to do.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, the stars I wish I'd had a chance to interview, but I haven't, so I know how you feel.
Yeah, it's great.
So, you've done a lot of animation and live action. Do you have a preference, or is it as the role goes?
I guess it's as the role goes. I love both. They're both completely different. There's pros and cons to both things. Doing voice work's amazing because, you can just go in your pajamas if you want to. And it's fun. You're in like a room with the other actors, and you're usually set up with your mics kind of in a semicircle. And you have the script out in front of you, and so you can, sit and stand as your lines come up. And it's a super playful atmosphere and really low pressure. And yeah, I love doing voice work, but I also love doing film too. That would probably be my number one passion, I'd say.
Well, everyone has. Do you have many passions, or is it just? I'm assuming you have many passions.
Well, I have lots of hobbies, but it's pretty cool to make your passion also your full-time job.
Yeah, fair enough. I gotta say, you've done a lot of. Oh no, I will do it that one. You're not just an actress; you're also a singer and a producer, and you've sang on a Bratz soundtrack. Would you like to do more singing if you could?
I would. Singing was something I did a lot when I was younger. I was a lot more focused on it at the time, and acting sort of took over for me, and it was hard to sort of juggle everything. I kind of had to, instead of focus on many things, focus on one thing. But I still sing, and I just had a daughter, and I sing to her every night. I used to write a lot of music and stuff too, but yeah, man, it would be really cool to do something where I could sing and act again. That would be pretty cool.
Well, there's always opportunities aplenty, isn't there?
I hope so.
Yep. Oh yeah, as a producer, you actually produced a short movie called Argus. Is it kind of intriguing? Sorry, but what is it like to film?
Sorry, I missed that question.
Yeah.
What did you say?
Yeah, you produced a short movie called Argus. The plot's intriguing, but what is it actually like to film?
It was a short film I did actually with my, now husband. At the time we were just dating. And he'd made a lot of super out there art films. And so he decided he wanted to try to do something a little more narrative. So I kind of came aboard and tried my hand at producing. But since it was such a indie project, we were shooting in this small town in Ontario that we had kind of randomly picked, and we're working with complete non-actors that we kind of discovered within the town. So producing kind of turned into also doing set deck and props and acting coaching and co-directing and sort of getting my hands into everything. So that was really, really, really fun.
So obviously as a producer, you can answer this next question. take me through a producer's role in a movie. Like, what do they do exactly?
I guess it kind of depends on the project, and on some of the bigger things, there's many producers. Some of them, are just financially backing the film and are kind of behind the scenes. Other people are more hands-on, like an executive producer. Sometimes is also the head writer. On an indie project like the one I did, I was a producer / almost every other department as well. So I think, it kind of depends on the production.
Yeah. So would you like to produce a big budget Hollywood movie if opportunity arose?
I don't know if I would, because on the bigger budget ones, I think producers have to be really good. Usually have to be really good with numbers and that kind of thing, and I'm not necessarily. I don't know if I necessarily have the business mind for it, but I'd love to direct.
Ooh, fair enough. At least you're honest and say you're not sure if you would. Can't fault you for that.
I know where my strengths and weaknesses are. Let's put it that way.
You know your limits, don't you?
Sorry, say that again?
You know your limits, don't you?
That's right. Yeah, it's important to know your limits.
Right, so So you actually played. A lot of people won't know this, but you actually played Stargirl in the TV series Smallville. So what was it like? Yeah, what was it like playing a superhero?
Well, that was my first and only time playing a superhero, and I mean, it was amazing. It was so cool. I mean, one of the things that you're not prepared for is, because it was TV, I booked the role a week before we went to camera. And actually, when I auditioned for it, they were very secretive about what I was even auditioning for. I knew kind of like the outline of what the character traits of Stargirl were, but they didn't say it was Stargirl at all. So I had no idea I was auditioning for Stargirl or who Stargirl was. So when I finally found out that I got the role and they said, her name is Courtney Whitmore and she's Stargirl, that was when I kind of was able to actually do the research and, find out about the character and who she is in the comic book world and the Justice League and all of that. But yeah, one of the things too is like, you have a bunch of stunts and stuff. And of course you have stunt doubles who are these incredible gymnasts and things that you have sort of to help you look good. It's still extremely physical and, would have been nice to maybe have a little more time to sort of, practice the choreography and make sure you're physically where you needed to be. I think I pulled it off though, but that was really, really fun, but also really hard.
Well, it was the first go of someone actually portraying Stargirl, so I think you probably did a pretty good job. I did actually used to watch Smallville back in the day, so I didn't have any complaints about it.
Cool, yeah, it was cool. It was a lot of pressure because Stargirl's based on the writer. He created her based on his little sister who passed away.
Yeah.
And I'd had a conversation with him before I'd start shooting, and that was. He wanted to do a good job to portray, the spirit of a real person that was very dear to him. So that was an interesting challenge as well.
I was about to say, I'm assuming you did your research for the part, but you've already answered that. So I'll move on to the next question. Have you got any advice for the new Stargirl, Bragg Basinger?
No, she's killing it. I've only watched just like parts of the first episode. But she's adorable and she's doing an awesome job. I've got friends who are fans of the show and they love her. So
I must admit, I've seen the entire series and I absolutely love it.
How's that? Do you love it?
Yeah,
cool.
I love it. I absolutely love it. I hope one day to get her on here.
Yeah, you have to.
That's what I'm trying to do. But we'll see.
Well, I wish I knew her and I could put in a word for you.
Oh, bless you. It's always nice to have friends in high places. Anyway, this next bit is more a question of you as an actress, as you are now. So, what advice would you give someone who is going through a decision whether they feel they are getting nowhere with their career, whether it be anything musical or movie or any career path for that matter?
Well, I mean, if it's specific to the arts, I guess with anything, but really becoming an actor or becoming a singer or an artist in any kind, you're signing up for a life of, you're self-employed. So you have years where you're killing it and you're working all the time and you're on the up and it's all so exciting. But you also have years where the industry is a bit slower, or for whatever reason you're not booking as much as you're used to booking, or whatever. So that you have to get used to the ebbs and flows of it, and in the downtime, not put so much pressure on yourself. It's part of the job is to have these kind of downtimes, and you can use that time to work on your craft and make your own things. And yeah, I think that's my best advice is to know that.
Sound advice, because I've actually I say this every time because it is the God's honest truth. I've actually had moments where I didn't actually think I'd carry on interviewing, but I'm glad that I have, because now I'm getting more interviews than I can basically get ready for.
That's exactly right. You're making your own content, you're making your own show, and you're sometimes killing it, and sometimes you feel like maybe you're not getting the interviews you want. That's exactly right.
I always try and improve as well, both as a person and an interviewer as well.
Of course, we all should be doing that. That's exactly.
All right, so Britt Irvin, what are you passionate about?
Oh man. Well, I love acting, I love music, and I love cooking. I'm really passionate about cooking. And this year during quarantine, I started my first garden. So using and growing my own food and using them to create different recipes. I don't know, I've considered even maybe one day having a restaurant. So I think right now, that's what I'm passionate about. I could kind of go on and on though, so...
You're planning for quite the pre-acting retirement, aren't you?
Yeah, it's like you gotta have your options. Yeah. Don't want to put all my eggs in one basket.
Yes, I've got to say, because Kane, who's a wrestler in WWE, he actually is in politics now because he knew that his time in the ring would be up. So he basically started doing politics, and now he's the mayor of Tennessee. So
wow.
Yeah, but so he actually knew that his time in the ring would end, and now he's got another career out of it.
Smart dude.
Yeah, he will be missed, though. Definitely missed. So, what would you say are your career highlights?
Oh, that's tough.
I tell you what, give me a couple.
I mean, I guess a career highlight in like a broad way. I feel like when you decide to do something like acting or music or whatever it is, you kind of have these like goals set out for yourself. And I think being able to, like I said earlier, make it your living is something really special and something I worked really, really hard to achieve. So I think that's a career highlight for me is just being able to do what I love to do, and make it my actual job.
Yeah. It's actually nice. Right. So, have you got any projects coming up, quarantine dependent?
No, well, not at the moment. I decided to take a little bit of time off because I had a baby during the pandemic. So I've taken a little break and just starting to get back to auditioning again now. And it's quite a new world. Auditions are no longer in person, so you're doing everything over Zoom or self-tapes. And it's been an interesting challenge doing it with a baby in the house and having my non-actor husband read opposite me for my auditions. But I'm getting the hang of it, I think, hopefully.
Yeah. Is he getting the hang of it, though?
He what?
Is he getting the hang of it, though?
I think so. I mean, he's like really excited about it, which is great because then I don't feel bad about asking him to do it. He's getting really into it. You definitely need some practice, though.
We all do, but practice makes perfect.
Yeah.
So
I feel like you could take an acting class, maybe.
Why not? So, what does the future hold for you?
I think just hoping to make a little bit more of my own content. Right now, I'm almost done writing a script with my writing partner, Oliver Rice, who's English, actually.
Oh, is he?
But he's living here now. Yeah, and he was on Chesapeake Shores with me And so him and I have been working on a little writing project that we're hopefully going to start pitching sometime at the end of the year or early next year. And I think, I really want to get behind the camera more. I think just having a little taste of doing some producing and helping with some music videos and that kinds of thing, I think directing is the direction I'd like to go, hopefully in the next couple of years.
Can we get a bit of insider info on what this project might be?
It's a cute kind of romantic comedy. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say about me.
My fiance will definitely be interested in that because she loves a rom-com.
Okay, perfect. I'll send it to you. I'll send the script to you guys first so you can let me know what you think.
So, if people want to find you on social media, how would they go about it?
I'm on Instagram only. So, what is I don't even know what it is. It's Britt. I guess you just type in Britt Irvin or Britt Bonnie, Boni, which is my married last name. But my film name is still Britt Irvin. But I think if you type in either, it'll come up. Cool.
So now I have a little quiz I like to call the Las Vegas quiz, because whatever happens in this quiz stays in this quiz. It will not go beyond this. It will not go beyond this interview, as far as I'm concerned, anyway. So tell me something you've never told anyone else.
Oh man. Sometimes I wish that I had never decided to act at all, and that I was a PI, a private investigator.
Really? That's actually quite shocked me.
I think in another life, that's what I will want to do.
Oh.
Be a PI.
Well, I must admit, that is the first time someone's actually genuinely shocked me with one of these questions.
Okay.
So, who was your first celebrity crush?
My celebrity crush is... Oh, I've got a few. Let me think off the top of my head. Heath Ledger. I love him. But...
Yeah, a lot of women actually fancied Heath Ledger, so that's understandable.
Oh, sorry, cut out there for a second.
I know. Everyone, I would say, majority of women probably had a crush on Heath Ledger, so that's understandable.
I know that was kind of my crush growing up and stuff. But there's another crush I have. I just can't remember his last name, so maybe he's not much of a crush at all.
Bless you. Would you like to know who my first?
Yeah.
Would you like to know who my first?
I do.
Yeah. You want to know who my first crush is? Right. My first crush was on a singer called Rachel Stevens. She was in a band called S Club 7.
Oh my gosh, I remember S Club 7.
Yeah, it was Rachel. She, honestly, I swear to God, I've never seen someone age so beautifully the way she has.
Oh my gosh, I have to look her up. I haven't thought about S Club 7 in a really long time.
Yeah, but Rachel, you'll know which one's which. She was my first crush.
Yeah, I know which one's Rachel. I'm looking it up right now. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
How old is she?
She's in her early 40s, but you wouldn't think that, judging by what she looks like now.
Wow, you should get an interview with her and find out her beauty secrets.
Oh, I'm trying that. Don't you worry about that.
Well, please pass them on to me when you find out.
I'll be passing it on to everyone. Don't worry about that.
Okay, perfect.
All right. So, what's the weirdest rumor you've heard about yourself?
I don't know if I've heard any rumors that are that weird. I think just like weird things, like, you know, back in the day, you'd be like, "Oh, you're dating your co-star" or something. Like, no rumors that I really know about. But I tend to stay away from reading those types of things. So
yeah, so do I. I've learned that as time has gone on. All right, so
smart.
Yeah. So, what would you rather do? Would you rather do movies or would you rather do TV?
Oh man, I don't know.
I'll give you.
I want to do both, to be honest. A TV series, though, like in the last 10 years, are like unbelievable, and then you kind of know your schedule. You get to really get into your character because it's being, you're doing it for a couple of years instead of just a couple of months. For right now in my life, let's say TV.
All right, we'll say TV. But you're happy to say both.
I do want to say both, yeah.
Yeah,
but
we'll go with both. I shouldn't really have included that on the choices, but I will do for next time. So with that,
good. I'm glad you're learning.
Yeah. So, would you rather play a hero or a villain?
Villain.
Oh, defo. We English have a thing about playing villains. That's why we're always picked for them.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, what do you think that is?
I don't know. It must be our demeanour, I imagine. But then again, Anthony Hopkins is a bit scary, and Tom Hiddleston's not exactly a smooth operator, is he?
True, no. Well, yeah, Anthony Hopkins is terrifying. Often.
It must just be an English thing.
It's an English, yeah, it must be your accent.
It must be an English thing, yeah. Alright, so what would you say has been the toughest role you've done and the toughest one you've had to prepare for?
I think the role I just did on Altered Carbon was one of the most challenging roles I've had in the last little while. It was a pretty intense scene that I had to do, and it was pretty real and pretty emotionally and physically draining.
And shall we put that in the one you've had to prepare for as well?
Yeah, I think so. It was a lot. It was, sometimes you have scenes that are, more conversational with a friend or a partner, and that I find, at least for me, is a lot more natural to kind of just be impulsive with it and play off each other. But when you're getting your teeth ripped out and tortured in a metal chair, I feel like you need to do a lot more prep leading up to the actual scene before you shoot it. All
right, so we've definitely found out that you've played a lot of characters. So out of all the characters you've played, who would win in an argument?
Stargirl, definitely.
Ooh. I like that. It's just straight into it, not, I don't know, just straight into it. I like that.
Yeah, 100%. Courtney Whitmore, Stargirl, don't get into an argument with her.
Which, funnily enough, brings us on to the next question. So obviously we have the DCEU and the MCU. So if a casting agent from Marvel or DC came to you and said, we want you in one of our movies, would you take their offer? And if so, which one would you choose over the other?
Oh, my gosh.
I know.
I mean, I'd 100% take a role. I would take any role from either. Yes, it would be so much fun to play a superhero again or a villain, preferably a villain.
Villains do have more fun.
Yeah.
But I'll have to do another one this time. It's a case of I'm not bothered which one I take.
Not bothered which one I take. Yeah. I would take either.
You have really forced me to up my game from now on.
I know. Sorry about that. You're welcome.
I think I'll get you this one enough. I'm going to give you a number of movie genres, and you have to say yes or no as to whether you would accept an offer to appear in them. So the genres are, I'll go by one. So science fiction.
Yes.
Drama.
Yes.
I know you've been in animated, but I can still ask it anyway.
Yep, definitely.
Horror.
Yes. Oh, yes, definitely. I really would like to do some more horror.
Ooh. What about an action movie?
If I do some training beforehand, then yes.
Yeah. That's right. And what about a movie that was a video game? So we're talking like the Resident Evils, we're talking like Super Mario Brothers. But the question is, would it depend on what video game it was based on?
No.
Oh, not bothered. I like you.
I don't think so. I mean, I'd have to see. We'd have to see. I'll be careful, but I doubt it. I feel like I'm pretty adaptable. I feel like I could get into almost anything.
Easy going. I like that. Speaking of video games, do you have a console at home that you play?
I do not.
Oh.
I know.
All right, for the gamers listening, would you are you considering getting one, or is it just a case of you've not got enough time on your hands?
I feel like it's definitely partly I don't have enough time on my hands. Yeah. My brother was a big gamer when we were kids, and I also played. I played too. We both did. And I feel like it's addictive. And if I had it around, I maybe would play more video games than I should.
Yeah, well, you've got the next generation to get into that soon, anyway.
I know. Yeah, it's scary. I don't know. Maybe she won't be allowed to have one. She'll have to play it at her friend's house.
Oh, that's another reason, another option. Right, so as far as video games go, would you like to appear in one? Depending on, obviously, what the game is.
Totally, that would be so fun.
Right, so would you sing on the soundtrack of a game?
Definitely.
I must admit, you are actually catching me out by surprise. I'm expecting all these, like, long and complicated answers, but you're just straight in there. All right, then.
I know what I want.
I admire you for that. All right, if you had to binge watch, do you binge watch Amazon, Netflix, or Disney? At this time, I did say 3, but obviously HBO Max is here, so I'll say HBO Max. I'm assuming you get HBO Max in Canada.
We don't. We might get it. We use something called Crave, and Crave has all the Showtime and HBO shows.
Yeah.
So I use that for HBO and Showtime and those kinds of things, and then I use Amazon for Stars and Amazon stuff, and then I use Netflix for everything else.
Yeah, speaking of Amazon, do not forget Stargirl is on there.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
It is. That's where I watched the first episode.
All right, then. This might get you thinking a bit. Who's the best actor and actress you've worked with, and who are the worst?
I'm going to say no comment on the worst. I've seen my share of, like, super unprofessional, rude behavior. Here and there, growing up on set, but I'm not going to name names on that.
I was about to say, if you didn't want to name any, you don't, but as long as you said you have seen some that's bad and worse, then that'd be fair.
Yeah.
That'd be fair.
Yeah, I've you definitely, you don't come across it that often, actually, but you do come across it every so often.
All right, then. Who's the best?
Actors can be weird people.
Who's the best?
I did a movie when I was a lot younger with Bryan Cranston, who then went on to do Breaking Bad. I also did a film with Aaron Paul, who also went on to do Breaking Bad, which is one of my favorite shows. And yeah, it was before that show had started filming or maybe even been written. But it was pretty cool working with both of them, especially seeing them then in a show together that was as amazing as Breaking Bad was.
Oh, all right, then. Next question. What's your dream movie role and your nightmare role?
Dream movie role... I think maybe what we were just... It kind of popped into my head now because of what we were discussing earlier. It'd be really cool to do something where I could sing and act.
Would you go so far as to say you could do, say, I'll say something like Cats or...
Definitely not Cats.
Oh no, but something along those lines. I have seen it. Yes, do not remind me of it. But something along that line.
I still haven't seen it.
I have seen it. I don't want to watch it again. But something along that line, though.
Yeah, something like that, or like a biopic pick, or I mean, it would be really cool to do something that was like an original type of musical thing too.
All right, then.
Like La La Land or something like that.
Oh, great movie. So Ivan, what's your nightmare one?
Oh, sorry, say that again.
What's your nightmare one?
Oh, Did you ever see a film? What was it called? It was called The Descent, and it was about
I have
caves.
seen it. Yeah, it's funnily enough, it's full of English actresses as well.
I think that's true. That movie, that would be a nightmare, being in tiny spaces in water. I think that would be a nightmare role. I don't know. I honestly don't know if I could do it. I think I would have said yes to doing it, and I would have got to set and maybe really disappointed everybody.
To be fair, that's my nightmare role as well, because I am not good with water, and I'm not good with caving. I have been caving, I should point that out, but I still don't like
how
it.
was that?
Nightmare.
Yeah, nightmare.
Absolute nightmare. But put it this way, I wouldn't wish it upon my own worst enemy.
Me neither.
Yep. Alright then, so your dream movie, you can have any 4 actors or actresses. You can have your own hired producer and director. Whatever movie it is, or what genre it is up to you.
1 second, let me just move this baby.
Yep, no worries.
1 second. Give me 1 second. Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can, yeah. So, your dream movie, 4 actors and actresses, producer and director.
Okay. Oh, gosh. Okay. Director would be Yorgos Lanthimos, or maybe Gaspar Noé.
Ooh.
And then actor, Toni Collette.
Ooh.
Oh gosh, this is so hard.
Have I finally got you?
I know you finally got me. There's just so many people I'd love to work with and that I admire. It's hard to. Who else? English, Olivia Colman.
Ooh. The Queen herself. Well, actually, the Queen on many an occasion, I should point out, not just the Queen.
No, right. Let's just leave it at that.
Right. Because there is a lot, and it's a bit on the spot, isn't it? Do you want to shall I tell you what mine is?
Think about when people are like, "What's your favorite movie? What's your favorite?" It's so hard to come up with on the spot, and then after we hang up, I'll be able to list off.
Yeah.
It's
just how it is. My dream movie would involve Chris Nolan as director, Emma Thomas as producer, actors and actresses. It would be Tom Hardy, possibly Leo DiCaprio, and for actresses, Scarlett Johansson, and probably Joey King now. I did actually have somebody else, but Joey King has absolutely touched me with all of the acting.
Yeah, what was that? Did you watch the mini series? Can't remember what it was called, but it was about Munchausen syndrome.
I know which one you mean, but the answer is no. I haven't watched it yet, but I will get around to it.
It's really good if you like Joey King.
Yeah, she's actually in an Amazon Prime horror anthology coming next month. I think it is. I will be watching that.
Cool. I'll be watching that too. I love anything horror.
All right, so one last question in the quiz before we move on to singing. It's more of a recommendation in the times we're in at the moment. So what would you recommend to watch on streaming from you personally and from your back catalogue of TV and movie-related content?
Oh, gosh. I mean, stuff I've done, I would say, I don't know, give all the old ones a try. Rewatch Smallville.
Yeah.
Rewatch Stargate, classics, Outer Limits. I think you can probably find online too. Yeah, go classic, I think. And new stuff, I got really into Ozark during quarantine. I watched all three seasons. And then on Amazon Prime, there's a show called I Like Dick. Dick being a person, by the way. Yeah, like, can I say that on here?
Yeah, it's alright. I always put like a rated R style warning on it.
Okay, perfect.
So you're alright.
That show's amazing. It's based on a book, and I loved it.
Well, I must admit, on Amazon, I've been watching The Boys.
Oh, how is it?
Oh, Carl Urban is absolutely funny as anything.
Cool, I'm writing it down.
Oh, you have
on my
to.
list.
I've got 3 episodes left, but it's quite funny as well. It's quite funny, and it's also a bit tragic. It's kind of like, what would Captain America do if he wasn't as good as everyone knows he is? What if Superman wasn't as good as he makes out he is? The only problem is we don't really have a Batman in that, so it's kind of hard to ask that question, what if Batman was like that?
Is that your favorite, Batman?
Oh, yeah. I've been watching Batman
Cool.
since the old days of Mark Hamill and Kevin Conroy.
Nice.
Yeah. Anyone asks me who my favourite Batman and Joker is, it's them two. It's no one else.
Those are the 2 for you.
Those are the 2. If anyone else did say, I'd say, prove me wrong as to why Hamill and Conroy aren't the best. And somebody would say something else, I'd say, you're wrong. You're just wrong on so many levels.
Okay.
Right, so we'll end it on the on something you're quite familiar with, because I have a little competition as to sing who can sing one of my favourite songs the best. And since you sing, you definitely qualify. So you up for it?
I guess so. I have been practicing with lullabies lately only.
I'll tell you what.
So
I'll tell you what. Let's make it interesting. Let's have a version of that sung as a lullaby for your mini-me.
okay.
So take it away whenever you're ready.
Oh gosh, no, I can't. They're like made up songs. You give me a song, and then I'll sing 2 lines, 3 lines.
I honestly don't know any lullabies, to be honest. I'll tell you what. Pick me one out from what you know, and we'll go from there.
I don't know off the top of my head. You just have to name a song.
Hold on. Let me ask the music expert, which is my other half. I'll tell you what, then. Sing Wildest Dreams by Taylor Swift. I'm assuming you're a Tay-Tay fan.
I'm not a Tay-Tay fan, but I wouldn't know the song. I wouldn't know the words to the song. I'm not up to date, I don't think, on current music right now.
Right, let me think of something in the 80s.
Classic, like.
How about Tears for Fears?
Oh my gosh.
Everybody wants to rule the world.
Oh, no, I don't know. 1 second, I'm going to get this baby situated again.
Yeah, no worries. Go.
Wise men say only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love with you.
That sent a shiver up my spine.
Oh my god.
Oh no, that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Perfect. I'm glad it sounded okay over speakerphone.
That's all right. So, on that, ladies and gentlemen, the absolutely lovely sounding Britt Irvin.
Thanks, everyone.